Good morning and welcome to, or if you're watching this, episode 1.
Yeah, it's on.
Alright, let's give it a go. Good morning and hello. If you're watching this, we've decided to start posting some YouTube videos.
Good morning and welcome to episode 1 of The Careless Adventure.
Today we're off to...
Good morning, legends, mum, dad, and hopefully a few others who have tuned in to check out The Careless Adventure on YouTube.
Good morning.
Morning.
This was a bit of a surprise. How's it feel?
First morning on the block.
Last night we slept in the caravan on the block for the first time, and it feels good. It's nice. As you've just seen, we have gone to start a YouTube multiple times and we've just never followed it through. It hasn't been the right time for us and our family, but we believe now, as Careless Adventure is slowly fading away, Homestead on the Rock is beginning, we believe it is the right time to start a YouTube for us and our family. In this episode, we're going to show you the land that we've purchased, our hopes and dreams, what we're going to achieve with it, and also why we started YouTube. So stick around. This is episode 1 of Homestead on the Rock.
So today's the 8th of March. Sign this one. Am I allowed to do that?
That's a signature.
I want to rip it up. The last signature.
Alright, here we go.
I signed something. Wow. Signed a piece of paper. Now it's my land.
Are you, so far, even though it's only been 5 minutes outside the caravan, are you happy with the block?
Yes.
Happy?
Yeah. Actually, when I woke up this morning, I could feel the sun coming in and I could hear the birds. I was like, oh, this would be nice. I was just going to go pick my tomatoes or go to the chickens. That's actually what I thought. But I knew it was just an empty block. But I thought, oh, yeah, I could go do that right now here.
It is nice. And there is a truck. So there's some bird noises. And
Some truck noises.
There is some truck noises, but it's nice. And show everyone, how pregnant are you?
That pregnant.
Give us a look. How many weeks pregnant is that?
It's almost 31. 30 and a half. Morning, Goa.
Let's go outside. Do you like this camp, Bino? This camp is
It's a new camp.
It's called Home. Home camp. It's nice, yeah? Say hi to the camera. Say hello, everyone. Welcome to
Hi.
Homestead on the Rock YouTube. I'm Cole Bean. And how old is Cole Bean? 19 months. Loves his
Dummy.
dummy. Yeah. We're going to have some breakfast and then we'll give you a tour around the block.
Do we want egg wraps or eggs on toast?
Egg wraps. Big egg. Whoa. Oh, thank you, Adele. And that's not uncommon. So we're going to give you a tour of the block. So we'll start out the front. All right, so this is the driveway, essentially, where the car is parked there.
We're going to need some imagination for this video.
So what are we going to have in the front garden, Sam?
I feel like we've got to work out what gets the most sun. I feel like it will be here.
Yeah. From our experience so far, this front part of the property gets the most sun. So I suppose this will be like more of our fruit and veg.
So I feel like this will be the veggie patch area.
Yeah.
I don't know about fruit trees. Like I feel like you have to be specific where you put them because they create such like a landscape. Is that the word? A vibe. The look, you know?
Yeah.
Very big.
I would actually like to put some fruit trees at the front here to kind of like be sort of like a hedge of fruit trees.
People might pick our fruit though.
Yeah, that's all right. Okay, so this is basically the block. Some of the information, it is 1,000 squares. So it's a quarter of an acre. We were looking for acres and we ended up getting a quarter of an acre.
Yeah.
But that's what we got. And it is 20 meters wide by 50 meters long. And from standing here, one of our favorite parts is these trees. These massive trees just create, I don't know, it feels like we're in the, we are in the country technically, but
not so much. It feels like a bigger block than what it is because of the trees.
yeah, I think unfortunately we're probably going to have to get rid of that big tree. I don't know if you can see it. We're going to have to probably get rid of that big tree because it's not really safe to build a house there next to it. But all the trees at the back will get to stay, which is good, which we love. So we'll take you to the back. Okay, so this is the back of the property, and as you can see, there's not really much to show you yet because we haven't done anything yet. It's just an empty block. But that's a good thing because it's empty. That gives us the ability to create and design. What is it? This part here is going to be our backyard, which I think is beautiful. What have we got here, Sam?
The previous owners have kindly left us a bathtub, which I'm thinking will make a really good veggie patch of some sort. We will repurpose this.
I think it'll make a good worm farm, personally.
We're all about reusing and getting secondhand things on this build, so this is part of it.
True.
Yeah,
Speaking of build, we do have a few plans for this property. So actually, before we get into our plans for the property, so now you're probably wondering, why did we choose this block? Why did we buy this block, Samantha?
Lots of reasons, but the first thing is that we actually didn't have that many options when our filter was land under 100k.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
so-
if you've ever looked for land in Victoria or Australia, it's very hard to find cheap land.
Yeah, under 100k.
Yeah.
So this was one of the options, obviously. And then originally we were actually looking for more land than this. But I think just after talking and really thinking about what we wanted, we knew that this was enough land to do what we wanted to do.
Yeah, well, we sort of got our filters, and our filters were, we wanted to be driving distance to family. So we were a couple hours drive from Samantha's parents and from my parents. So whenever we want, we could just jump in the car, we can go visit them. You can do it in a day, 2 hours there, 2 hours back. It's good for a day trip.
Oh, the neighborhood. We actually really like the neighborhood of this town. Compared to other towns we visited, I was like a little bit scared to raise children in them. True story. But this one, it just felt really inviting, and all the neighbors around and people in town are just lovely. And yeah, the town didn't feel like it was dying. Like there's a lot of blocks that have gone for sale and people building everywhere. So it was like a lot more inviting than other towns we visited.
It was a very cute town, and the block itself was ready to go. It was fully fenced. It has water and power, not on the block, but just at the front.
Oh yes,
blank
the services.
Slate, yeah, blank slate had the services there. What we're trying to do, one of our main goals is to be debt-free or absolute minimum debt. So we wanted to get a block that was, we didn't want to bite off more than we can chew. Yeah. We wanted to start off with what we can. So what we thought was practical for us, and this is what we ended up deciding was practical for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so house plans. We can't live. So many people ask us, are you just going to live in the caravan on the block? Temporarily, yes. Obviously, we are doing that at this very second, but you can't do that forever.
No.
The council will come knocking and you will get in trouble. Yes. So, well, in this block anyway, we're not that remote, so we'll be found. But we do have some plans for building a house. Who's going to build the house?
Well, at the moment we're thinking us.
Yeah, we're thinking we're going to do it. We've looked into getting it quotes for getting someone else to build it, and we're not finding anything that we super like.
For the price.
For the price, yeah. So we're thinking that we're going to build it. And what is this? Describe the house that we want to build to people. What is it?
It's just going to be a very small, cozy, warm cottage-style cabin on stumps.
Yeah, pretty much. I think we're doing an owner build. We want to have it, one, small, so it's cheap. We want to have a fireplace. Samantha wants, which is more than fair enough, a bigger kitchen.
Much bigger than this, at least 3 times the size of this.
Basically, the house is going to be designed around the kitchen.
Yeah.
The house is going to be just like a huge kitchen and then just a couple of small bedrooms. Yeah, we have a lot of organising to do in terms of the house, especially if we do go through the owner-builder route. There's a lot involved in that.
It's a lot of ticks.
A lot of researching and a lot of responsibility on our part. So we're looking into that, and we definitely will be building as soon as possible because we want to be living on this block tomorrow because we want to start a garden.
That's right.
So,
we want to do all the things that you get when you get property and land that we haven't had for so long.
yeah, so we should tell people what our plans are, what's going to be in the garden, what are we planning to do in the dirt here. Be ambitious. What is our ambitious goal on this quarter-acre block in terms of the gardening?
Well, if I'm going to be ambitious, I would say, I would like to grow as much produce as we can, so that we don't have to get produce from stalls and markets, really.
Yeah, which is fine. We've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
But we like the idea of, is it possible on a quarter of an acre to plant onions, carrots, beetroot, tomato,
potatoes, everything that we use.
How much can we grow here? I mean, to some people this may not look like a lot of land, but to us this looks huge. Like, we've been living just in the caravan, so we've never even had a piece of dirt to plant a carrot in. So this is huge. There's so much we can do here. We know that we're not going to be fully self-sufficient, but we also know that we can learn a lot, and there's so much gardening that we don't know. Neither of us are gardeners. We don't know what we're doing. We've never grown a tomato before, so we have a lot to learn. But we're very excited for that. And it wouldn't be a homestead if we didn't have some animals.
Chickens.
We're definitely getting. Well, we've actually already got chickens. We're
going to multiply them.
yeah, we're going to multiply those chickens. But we've got some chickens, and what else can we fit on a property?
Tom wants goats.
I do want goats. Look, I think that the goats can fit. I've done a little bit of research, not extensively, but you can probably fit like a little Nigerian dwarf goat, perhaps. That would be cool. I mean, because we buy raw milk already. I just think it would be cool if you could actually get some of your own milk off your own property. That would be cool. Obviously, maybe not financially smart to get goats on a small property, but it'll be fun.
That's a maybe.
So chickens, maybe goats, worms. Got the worm farm. What else? Bees. We're gonna probably get bees. There's actually we've had like 5 bees get into the caravan, so there's heaps of bees here, which is good. But we want to get bees and try to get some honey. And what other animals?
You could also do rabbits, like pet rabbits to sell. Like, it could be a fun thing for kids to do.
Yeah, Colin would definitely like to have a pet rabbit.
Yeah, I hear a lot of kids doing that, just breeding rabbits to sell. So
and we'll probably do chickens for eggs, but we'll also, if possible, we're going to do meat chickens as well. So I think that there's enough space on this property to probably do meat chickens. So if we can learn all about all those animals and produce our own chicken eggs, chicken meat, maybe some milk, honey, that would be a good start. That will keep us very busy for now.
You could possibly do like other variations of birds, like quail and turkey. I don't really know.
Yeah, we could do quail and turkey.
Just for some variety.
Or guinea fowl, I think they're called. Everyone likes those apparently, but I'm not too sure about those, but we'll see. In a nutshell, that's basically what our plans are for the block. We're just going to try to maximise as much as we can on this quarter acre, and we want to outgrow it. We're going to try and do as much as we can here and then outgrow it, and then maybe in a few years' time, if things go well, we'll go get something bigger. But for now, we're going to turn this quarter acre into our little paradise. So, why are we doing this? Why are we starting a homestead? Why have we given up the dream of living in a caravan, traveling Australia, and just brought a little block of land? Well,
Well, actually, we used to think we had more freedom being in a caravan travelling.
Yeah.
We actually think you have more freedom owning a block of land, growing your own food.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it. Not being in the system as much.
I'm going to say it. Yeah, we're going to say some things like that. Yeah, for sure. We actually did think, previously we were thinking about, before we even left, we were thinking about starting a homestead. And we literally were like laying in bed going, should we buy a caravan or should we buy land? And at the time we thought there was probably more freedom in the caravan lifestyle. But now after doing it, we realized that, well, we had a lot of fun, but now our heart's desire is to actually, it's the same goal. We want more freedom, but we realize that there's a lot of freedom in being more self-sufficient, essentially, because in a caravan, you have to stop at Woolies and you have to stop at Coles to get your food or the market or whatever, and you have to stop at the local information centre to go and get some water or find a tap to go and get some water. And yeah, you're free, but you're actually just relying on these external sources daily so that you can actually keep your family alive, essentially. So yes, it's fun and there is a lot of freedom in terms of you can camp and wake up at the beach, but you're not necessarily free in that sense that you're relying on a lot of other factors and a lot of other people to keep that freedom and that fun.
I mean, don't get me wrong, we're still going to, when we start building, we're going to hook up to water mains, but eventually our goal is to catch our own water. So everything's a process, but...
Yeah, we may not be fully self-sufficient at the start, but we are going... Look, people who are homesteaders, they don't like to say we're aiming for self-sufficiency because everyone basically knocks you back down. If you say, oh, I want to be self-sufficient, the first thing someone says is, well, you'll never be self-sufficient because you're always going to have to buy something. Yes, everyone knows that. We all know that. But the point is you want to be more self-reliant as much as you can. Like, no one really likes to, you know... Okay, so the phone storage was full and the video stopped, so I'm not sure exactly where it cut off there. But one of the big reasons is obviously because we want to be more self-reliant, more self-sufficient, all those things. But also it's not just that. Like, we also don't really want to be getting our food from Coles anymore. We don't really want to be getting our food from Woolworths because we basically think the food system is broken. And, well, we don't really trust...
No. There's not much trust in... Yeah, we don't really trust our health in Woolworth and Coles' hands, to be honest. So
yeah, our health is not in the hands of Coles or Woolies anymore. We want to take a little bit more responsibility of that because we don't trust them, and we're going to try to grow what we can, and we're probably going to stuff that up, but eventually we can relearn the skills that has been lost in our family. The skills of growing food has been lost, so we want to relearn those skills so that we can actually produce good, healthy food in our own backyards for our family. Yes, this life, what we're choosing is not necessarily easy and it's not convenient, but that's what basically everyone's exchanging their health for convenience. Going to Coles is what's convenient and it's easy. It's not very easy to plant carrots and wait months for them to grow and then to finally eat them.
Well, it is easy. It's just not easy because no one knows how to do it anymore.
Yeah, well, once we get the hang of this, once you're watching season 15, we'll be showing you how easy it is to grow carrots. But at the moment, we've been exchanging that convenience for our health, essentially, and we don't care about that convenience anymore. But what we do care about is our health. So we're going to take the steps to make sure that the food that we're consuming, the food that's on our family's table, is the best that we can provide. So another reason why we're doing this, why we've got a small block of land, why we're planning on building our own house, is because we do not believe in debt, basically. Yes, it's maybe small debt, but especially big debt, we really don't believe in. We think that, yes, people can make good money and a lot of business people will use debt to their advantage, but in our humble opinion, we think that debt, more often than not, has a negative impact on people's lives. Now, obviously, for some people, they have to get loans in their certain situations, so we're not having to go at everyone, but the reality is if having a mortgage is the reason that you can't do the things that you really care about, then you have to ask yourself, is it really worth having that mortgage? Are you sacrificing more than you really should? When we speak to people that are older than us, that are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, they will literally say that their jobs and their careers, their mortgage, their debt stresses them. They work more than they should. They're physically, spiritually, and emotionally exhausted, or it makes them unwell, generally speaking. If you owe someone hundreds of thousands of dollars, not only does it stress you out, is it a constant burden on you, you're more likely to compromise on your health and your relationships because you can't afford to give up your job now. You can't afford to not go to work because you have that big debt, and you can't get rid of that income stream because you've already chosen the debt. So now you're stuck. So what is our solution? Yes, obviously we have saved up money in the past. We've accumulated some wealth so that we can buy this block in the first place, but we're doing this as cheap as possible so that we don't have to compromise on our health, so we don't have to compromise on our relationship, we don't have to compromise on the things that we believe and the things that we value. And then hopefully by showing you guys how cheap and how, I'm going to say easy, it won't be easy, but how
realistic it can be.
It's how realistic things can be done that you probably, if you speak to most people, they're going to say, no, that can't be done. Yeah. But hopefully after you watch what we do, we can encourage people who have similar opinions to us to go out there and make the same decisions for your family and benefit your lives. Another one of the massive reasons why we're doing all this is self-sufficiency, because we realize that if there was no food on the shelves at Coles, there was no food in our pantry. And we didn't really like, that didn't sound like a good deal to us, relying on Coles to have food so that our family can have food. We know that we're not going to be fully self-sufficient. We know that there's a lot of things that we're going to have to outsource. We're probably going to start this property connected to water mains and power and all that stuff. But our long-term goal, we want to take as much responsibility as we can for all of those resources. And that's basically the homesteading journey that we're on. So, and the name. So obviously we used to be Cal's Adventure, but now we are Homestead on the Rock. And the reason, if you didn't already know why we've named it Homestead on the Rock, is because about 2,000 years ago, the most famous, influential, and righteous, awesome man of all time, Yeshua, or more commonly referred to as Jesus, he gave this sermon, his teaching. It's called the Sermon on the Mount. And in it, there's a whole heap of like just practical, good life advice that we think we apply to our lives. We think everyone should. And at the end of that sermon, he says, Jesus is speaking to the crowd, and he says, anyone who hears these words of mine and applies them or does them is like a wise man who builds his house on the rock. And when the rain came, the floods came, and the winds blew, and they beat against that house, but it did not fall because its foundation is on the rock. So that's basically the premise of why we are, because we are Homestead on the Rock, because we want to be the wise man that builds his house on the rock, who builds his house on
Good
biblical
foundation.
Values and biblical foundation. So that's how we got the name Homestead on the Rock. So why are we doing this YouTube account? Basically, there is a lot of YouTube pages out there or social media accounts where you can go follow and you can learn about how unhealthy the food system is and how much your water's poisoned and the economic collapse is coming and the house market's going to crash. And you can follow a lot of YouTube pages that will teach you about that stuff if you're interested. But this channel is about a family that doesn't trust the system, but instead of just sitting at home being scared about it, we're being proactive about it. Yeah. And we are going to document this journey, the good and the bad, and hopefully by documenting it and showing you the decisions we make and the troubles we face, we can hopefully encourage you guys to do the same, to take responsibility, and to start a homestead for your family.
Yeah, and I feel like there are a lot of pages that are already out there, very advanced, smashing it. Maybe it's a bit overwhelming, whereas we're literally starting from the bottom.
Yeah.
So if this can be encouragement to anyone to start their journey with us, that's what we hope as well.
Yeah,
so.
Every other homestead page that you go and look at has already got 100 chickens, a dairy cow, and all those cool homesteading things. But this is going to be from the ground up. You're gonna
quite literally. So.
So thanks for watching. If you've watched this all the way to the end, thank you for watching. If you like the video, subscribe. If you want to see, we're going to try to bring out a video every single week. So that subscribe, and then we'll bring out another video next week. So thank you, and we'll see you in the next video. Say bye, Pino. Bye.